on your backs. And just do whatever you need to do to get comfortable. You can have your legs long, or if that's troublesome for your back for any reason, you can stand your feet. And just spend a few moments scanning through yourself, starting with your heels. And just through your body on the right side. All the way up to the head and the neck. And then do the same on the left. And check in with your head and neck. After you've scanned all the way up there, you can roll your head a little bit. One way, the other, and see if you have a preference today. And then stand your feet. Stand your feet and legs a comfortable distance apart. And push with the feet and rock and roll the pelvis. Push and pull with the feet and legs and rock and roll the pelvis towards and away from the head. And Mindy, if it's okay, can you bring your feet in, there? Right, so now you have a track that goes up through the hip joints. There, yeah. Different? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And listen to the two sides of the pelvis and the sacrum. If they come together, do they roll symmetrically? There's one side. You have a bias on this side as well. And if you discover that you do, then you can check in with that foot or the other foot and see which part of you is working more and which part of you might be taking a vacation. And then go quickly and lightly, just kind of boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom, and notice if the head responds, and if it does, how does it respond? And then roll to your side and come to sit. We'll do a lesson more upright today. So the position will be leaning back on your hands with the soles of your feet together and the legs apart like a frog. And you can move your heels further away and closer to you until you find just the right spot for your feet and legs. And rock your pelvis in this position. So, different story. Leaning back on the hands. The pelvis is a little more free to move. And just, feel how the tail, you rock back towards your sacrum. And then you roll forwards towards the sits bones. And notice if one way makes your knees go further apart. One way makes your knees go closer together. Only do what's comfortable. And notice how when you roll your pelvis back towards your sacrum, you can pull the belly in. You You can pull the belly in and get sort of concave. And ooh, that changed everything in the spine, didn't it? And then when you go forward towards the pubic bone, you can sort of blow the belly out and forwards like a balloon. And feel how adding the belly, having an intentional action in the belly, pulling it in towards the spine or blowing it out forwards. How does that change your experience of your spine? Listen to the area between the shoulder blades, the front of the chest. And what does your head do? Does it go down with as the pelvis curls towards the chest? Okay, rest on your backs. Draw up your feet and legs again and stand the feet. And again, push and pull with the legs and feet and rock and roll the pelvis and feel if anything has changed in your experience of that, anywhere. And then slowly lower your knees out to the sides with the soles of the feet together, like a frog, and rock and roll the pelvis again now with the hips open like this. And how is this how is this situation different for you? Keep it comfortable, whatever you can do, just do what you can do. So how do you mobilize? Sue, are you having trouble with one hip? Stand that foot. So just don't challenge it. Yeah. Better?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah, always adapt to your own situation and pay attention to the chest and the shoulders and the spine and the head. What's the response of the head here? Where are your eyes looking? And just slide the legs down again and take a rest. Whichever side you rolled to before to come to sit, can you roll to the other side to come to sit? Your probably non-habitual side. And come again with your soles of your feet together and lean back on your hands. And again, rock and roll the pelvis. Tip the pubic bone towards the floor and you have to blow out the belly and feel how you lean on the hands. And you can rest earlier. And oh, it's good. So Vicky is already doing what I wanted to do. If you were lowering the head as you were tipping the pelvis under, can you look up instead? And then look down as you roll the pelvis forward and blow the belly out. So I think most of you were doing a rounding and an arching spine. Now we're doing what's called out of phase. And how is that different for your system? figure it out. Oh, the hip got better, didn't it? Changed a little bit. Yeah, good. And rest on your backs. Then roll to the other side and come up to sit again with the soles of your feet together like a frog, leaning back on your hands. And if your wrists are challenged by by the position, you can also make fists or tripods or support through the fingers, whatever is going to work for you. And now can you find a way to tilt your left knee down towards the floor. Tilt your left knee down towards the floor. So you have to push your right hand more into the floor when you tilt your right knee down, and the pelvis can turn. Pelvis can turn. And which way are you looking? You can look at the knee, you can watch it go over there. And come back. So do that, experiment with that several times. Experiment with lowering the right knee down, the outside of the knee, all the way to the floor if you can. I said right, I meant left knee. So you're pushing with your right hand, and you can attend to the ribs on the right. They're folding. And the ribs on the right come further away from the elbow, the right elbow. There's more distance there. And the ribs on the left will come closer to the left arm. Just do what you can. And then a few times, can you look towards the knee that's coming away from the floor? Look towards the knee that's coming away from the floor and feel that organization. So you might try, Sue, if you can, leaning further back on your hand. There. Now, there you go. Mm-hmm. Different. Yeah, you want to lean far enough back so that if somebody came and kicked your hands out from underneath you, you'd fall back. There you go. And then try looking once to the knee that's going down to the left, and then to the right, and see how they're different. How are they different? Looking one way, looking the other way. What does it change in the spine? What does it change, or does it change anything in your chest? Does it change how you push through the pushing hand? Does it clarify anything in your spine between your shoulder blades? These are just cues. Okay. Rest on your backs. Now we're going to go internal. So, stand up your feet, and I believe, have we all done the paradoxical breathing, the seesaw breathing in here?
Yeah.
Yeah? So you know what I mean when I say seesaw breath? Okay. You forget. Okay, so we'll review. Notice how you're breathing, first of all, and where you feel the most movement when you inhale. Is it in the chest? Is it in the ribs? Is it in the belly? Is there movement in the back? And then can you purposefully inhale up into the upper regions of your chest and ribs so that you really inflate the upper part of yourself. And then could you do the opposite? Could you inflate your lower belly, the area between your belly button and your pubic bone, and everything in there? Can you inflate that? Have it go towards the sea. Now, what happens to the hip joints when you breathe into the belly like this? What happens in the spine when you breathe like this? The next time you breathe down into your lower belly, can you roll your pelvis towards your feet and blow the belly forward, expand it, and so the lower back arches. Good. So you can use the belly to help roll the pelvis. Okay. Send the legs down, take a rest. And roll to your other side, if you remember what that would be. And then come to sit, leaning back on your hands, with your knees apart and your soles of your feet together. And again, lean with your left knee towards the floor, but this time, can you push the belly out and to the left? Sort of think of filling the left side of your pelvis to help rock it and help the knee go lower to the floor. Does it make it lighter on your hands and elbows? You inflate the belly and turn the pelvis a bit to the left and make a big bulge there. And try looking a few times to the right as you do that. Let the belly be free. Try looking a few times to the left as you tilt. And then the next time you tilt the knee over there, stay there for a moment and slowly turn your head to the left and to the right. And listen to what you might be very subtle, but what is the difference there? Is there any change that you sense? Okay, come on to your backs, take a rest. And stand up your right foot, just your right foot. And push with the right foot so that your pelvis rolls to the left a few times. Slowly. And feel all the pieces of that. The pelvis turning around the right hip joint. Maybe the left leg rolls and the foot turns. And the knee can turn to look towards the left a little more. And then can you add this filling of the belly in such a way that the belly also helps to pull your pelvis. Helps to pull your pelvis over there. Yeah, so you have a nice arch in the back. Nice safe arch in the back. But the belly will bulge forwards in a way that in our culture is taboo. See how much you can blow your belly out there. Yeah, there we go. There we go. This is why we wear stretch pants. Good. Now, pause a moment. And then just a couple of times without using the belly, without using this internal inflating of ourselves, just move your bones. Just push the foot and think that you have an empty pelvis. An empty pelvis. You're just moving the bones. You can still roll it. You can still roll it over there. Feel the difference having just bones, thinking of bones, and then add a fuller left side. Think of the pocket of your jeans, where your pocket of your jeans would be. Think of filling that area. And how does that movement spread differently through you if you use that? Okay, send down your right leg the next time your pelvis is on the floor. And draw your knees out to the side again. Put the soles of your feet together. And again, tilt the pelvis so that the left knee goes down towards the floor. Feel how you push the floor with the right elbow and arch the back on the right side. And play with using the belly like a balloon or not using the belly. And also I'm going to add a small distinction. The next time you tilt your knee over towards the floor, rather than thinking of it going just directly over there to the side, think of it going a little bit forward and away from you. A little bit forward and away from you. You might have already been doing that, but feel what a difference that might make in the turning of the pelvis. Yeah, right. Good. What does the head want to do? Can you take the head with the movement? Can you take the head away from the movement? Okay, rest on your back. And now let's borrow from the growing human baby. Bring your attention to your breathing and again to your pelvic region. And maybe place one of your hands on your belly somewhere in between your belly button and pubic bone. Right in the middle there. in between the belly button and the pubic bone. And listen for a soft expansion in that area inside. Soft expansion when you inhale. And also add a curious thing. As you are exploring and listening to your breath, can you very, very slightly widen the corners of your mouth a little bit towards your ears? Well, maybe you do it on the inhale, or maybe you do it on the exhale, or maybe you take a few breaths to do that. But can you make a smooth sort of widening of the corners of the mouth, just gently going towards the ears? The very beginning of a smile. The very beginning of a smile. Listen to what muscles perform that. And does anything change in your sense of your breathing or your sense of comfort when you create just the beginning of a smile? And add to that sort of a widening of your eyes. Sort of the outside corners of your eyes could also expand towards your temples. What muscles do that? And what sort of feeling does that conjure up? And now listen, continue playing with just the beginning of a smiling face, the smiling eyes, the smiling mouth. And now how is that sensation in your pelvis? Is it softer? Leave it and rest. What did that little exercise do? It feels like the whole room quieted down. Keeping this same attitude, can you draw your knees out to the sides with the soles of your feet together and just simply rock and roll the pelvis? If it's uncomfortable to have the knees out to the side, then stand both your feet. And just rock and roll the pelvis, but play with this developing baby idea. This softness, even though you're engaging yourself, you can keep a sense of softness there in that place in the middle of your pelvis, and you can play with just the beginning, the glimmer of smiling eyes and smiling lips, just the glimmer. And how does that change how the movement feels? imagine being that tiny infant again. Is the movement more satisfying? Like a baby who is just well fed. And send down your legs, and again rest. And then let's play with this whole experiment on the other side. So roll to one side or the other and come to sit with the soles of your feet together, if you can. And lean back on your hands. And find this soft breathing, this soft place in the belly again. And then just very gently begin to rock the pelvis under and away. And even though you pull the belly in as you roll backwards towards the waist and can push the belly out as you rock forwards towards the feet, and you stay aware of this soft place in the middle. See if you can differentiate. There, the head can go one way, it can go the other way, and you can play with this very beginning of a smiling eyes, a smiling mouth, a soft belly, attending to yourself as you roll the pelvis under and away. There's no strain anywhere. And the breathing is soft, and it's safe. Excellent. Come back down onto your backs. Stay with the soft breath in the middle of the pelvis. Occasionally widening the face, corners of the eyes, the corners of the mouth. And roll to your side, maybe the other side, but stay in this soft place. Be aware of that place in your center as you move and come into position. You don't have to abandon it. And come again with your soles of your feet together. Oh, we all move slower, don't we? And now with the other knee, lean back, and experiment with leaning the other knee, that would be the right knee, towards the floor and sending it a little bit forwards and away from you. A little bit forwards and away from you. So it's not going directly to the side, it's more going on a little bit of a diagonal, and the left hand will be pushing more. It can be a very soft touch down. And stay with this feeling of, even though you're contracting muscles in the back and the ribs are moving and you're engaging yourself, can you stay with this feeling of the soft breath in the middle of the pelvis? Sort of running underneath everything. And with the beginning of a smile, and listening to your system, the whole system, as a unified whole rather than in pieces, even if you're only moving a tiny bit, search for comfort, always search for comfort. And play with turning the head one direction or the other direction. You can watch the knee that's coming away from the floor. Just turn the nose a little bit. And you feel the relationship of the head and the pelvis. Stay with the soft breath. The smiling eyes. The movement's not important. Come back down on your backs and take a rest. So, how was your experience of doing the lesson on this side, the new side, with a different attitude? Roll your head and check in with your neck. Then draw your feet together, soles of the feet together, or if you're just working with one side, stand one foot, maybe have the other leg out to the side. There you go. And connect again to your breath, the soft spot in the belly, the soft eyes getting wider, in the mouth. And in this state, can you mobilize yourself in such a way that the right knee comes a little closer to the floor and even goes a little bit away from you on the diagonal? So feel what you press. Feel you press the left elbow. Feel what happens with the left shoulder. Feel the right side of the pelvis getting heavier. Where do you engage the back? And stay with this soft, expansive breath in the pelvis. And occasionally smiling to yourself. But you can also attend to your whole system, being aware of how the bones are moving, how you're breathing, and how you can create a completely different state within yourself simply by manipulating the muscles of your face. They evoke a feeling. All of our emotions are driven by a movement, a feeling. Okay, excellent. Send your legs down, take a rest. Stand your feet. Find your soft baby belly breathing. In case you let it go, find it again. And sort of keeping it in the foreground. Rock and roll the pelvis towards and away from the head, but keep this peculiar way of organizing the breath. Keep it. And let your mind follow through your whole system. And play with the eyes and the mouth. How does the movement spread through you when you're breathing like a baby and just beginning to smile? And then, as though mommy were going to give you a little bouncy bouncy, go ahead and go faster. Bada boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. But keep this soft, keep this soft, satisfied look on your face. Yeah. You see that the movement doesn't have to interfere with this breath. And then pause, keep your feet standing. And now can you begin to imprint the shape of a circle on the floor with your pelvis? It can be a very small circle. It can be any size you like, but can you use pressure with your legs and your feet and using your whole self really to roll the pelvis around in a circle? And notice which direction you chose to go. Now, if you were to impose, imagining lying on the face of a clock, and let's say 12 o'clock was the back of the waist and 6 o'clock was the tail. It gives you sort of a guide. You can go around and graze all the numbers with your pelvis. All the space in between, don't skip that. Now, are you still breathing softly like a baby? Are you still smiling to yourself? Does that smooth the movement out? And what if you reversed? What if you reversed? You see all, can you attend to all these things? Your breathing, the numbers of the clock, your comfort level, always maintaining your comfort level, your smiling eyes and mouth. Are you imprinting a circle anywhere else on the floor, not besides the pelvis? What else is moving in a circular way? Is your head responding? What about the tissues of the skin on the shoulder blades lying on the floor? Could you imagine all the cells in your body syncing up to this circle? That they all know something of it. And there's still the breath, and there's still the smile, and the awareness of your environment, and the awareness of yourself, until maybe there you feel like there is no separation. Everything is unified and you are in harmony with not just yourself, but with your environment. And then you can bring it to a close in your own timing. But stay with the breath, stay with the breath, stay with the smile. And then just attend to yourself on the floor. You can sense your 5 lines. But keep the breath. Stay with the soft expansion of the breath. And sense the 5 lines of the 2 lines of the legs. The line of the spine from the tail to the head. The 2 lines of the arms all the time, with this breath running underneath it all, and occasionally bringing the smile back into existence, the very beginning of the smile. And I would encourage you over the weekend and in the days ahead to just sometimes pause in your day and, recall this. Come back to this sensation. You can go right back to the soft, expansive breath in the pelvis and just the hint of a smile in the eyes and the mouth. And just feel what it does for you. And you might even be surprised, you might surprise yourself, you might be doing something, and that this breath you just might become aware of it. That it was operating anyway. Now that we've uncapped it.